What is up? Welcome, this is Lesage, your chronically Caucasian vocalist who just clipped the microphone. A lot of people have been focusing on Ukraine for obvious reasons, but I think people aren't appreciating necessarily that the ruble has tanked. That's the Russian currency. And in general, all of the sanctions are, and all the militaries, that's affecting civilians, right? So this is Russian, he's innocent, and he's getting hit as well as any Russian creator. So again, after this video, link down below, go give this individual some love. Even if you've already followed him, subscribed, take a look at his Patreon, see what you can do to help people who are struggling in the beatbox community. Let's just get into this.
Hello, my name is Brewer. I'm from Russia. This is my solo wildcard for the Grand Beatbox Battle 2021 World League.
It was all about only you and me, only two of us, maybe three. It was all about only you and me, only two of us, maybe three.
That's really cool.
Maybe three. Some.
What?
It was all about volume, Q and P, volume.
Y'all act like this is normal. Whenever I freak out about stuff, you're all like in the comments, well, it's just this technique. I mean, come on. This is crazy. This is bananas.
It was all about volume, Q and P, volume plus, baby pre. It was all about only you and me.
Ooh, man. It's good musically. Like, I'm just digging it. Build up. Look, sorry, I just have to talk about this right here. Look at how precise and exact each position is with his face hole. Like, obviously I can't talk about the technique, but I can talk about how consistent he is in getting the sounds just perfect. It's like watching a violinist hit the exact right note without a fretboard for reference, you know? This is a much harder skill than just like singing the note. This is incredible. You can measure.
It was all about.
Hello, my name is.
So let's talk a little bit about song structure. It's very, very, very common for beatboxers and loopers to mimic EDM song structure. And there's a very pragmatic reason for that, aside from, it being kind of the cultural thing that people are doing right now in the beatbox community. But it's because the song structures are so simple. You have A, B, A prime, B prime, and then sometimes there's a bridge, right? So what does that mean? Let's get a little graph here, MS Paint. So what a lot of development usually happens through harmony. Right, you'll have your chord progression, your 1-4-5, and then it'll change during the chorus. EDM is almost entirely about sound. We live in the world of timbre, which is awesome, right? The elements of music are rhythm, melody, harmony, and timbre. You can explain pretty much anything through that lens. So if timbre is the way that music develops in an EDM song structure, you have like the introduction, the melody, and then you have the drop. If we look, his melody is incredible. His sense of this is usually people who are beatboxing mimic like drum and bass or dubstep, right? Or like heavier EDM genres. This is way more in the direction of like marshmallow, like pop, super pop stuff. Like, let's take a listen to this amazing melody. So there's a couple of like amazing things that he does. Okay, so we have, first of all, we have the intro, right? The thing maybe 3, right?
It was all about only you and me, only 2 of us, maybe 3.
And that like little only 3, like that rhythm thing makes it way, way, way more interesting. But in the development, and in the transition, right? We have the build up to the drop, right? So we have the intro, we have the build up to the drop, and listen to the harmonies. He's actually using what's called mode mixture, and I'll get into that in a second, but this is sick. That do 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 do, that would be in the key, right? What I just did, but it's not what he did. Do 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 do. Where was he? Let's see. Do do do. So he's done something. He's made something minor. Let's talk about mode mixture because this is sick. All right. Here we go. So what we see here is the average EDM structure, right? So he has this to the build up, right? And then he drops. But this is usually like just a riser, right? It doesn't get a lot of respect or attention. But in this case, it deserves to be talked about because what he's doing is called mode mixture. Okay, what is mode mixture? Generally, with music, usually we're talking about a major scale, right, or minor scale, right? So let's just say do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, and those that scale gets turned into chords. Okay, so do mi so mi do re fa la re mi so mi fa la do la fa, right? So it's every third, right? Do mi so, right? And this is how you have to outline harmonies when you have a monophonic. I think that's the right word. I'm about to sound like a tool. But when you have only one instrument to work with, when you can only play one melody at a time, that's how you have to outline chord progressions is through what's called an arpeggio, right? Do, mi, so, mi, do, right? That's an arpeggio. That's a one chord. So what he's doing is he is borrowing from another mode. So that's the major scale. This is the minor scale. There we go. That's it. And let me just adjust that. So this is the minor mode, right? You're taking a different part of the scale, like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Too high. But what you can do that's really interesting is when you're doing mode mixture, say for example, fa, la, do, la, fa, you can flat the la. You can flat the 6th degree of the scale. So you get do, lay, or like a flat 6. Let's do 6 flat like that. And so then all of a sudden you change the very nature of the key you're in. And it provides this, it's so cool, like the contrast. Like one of the really famous uses of this is actually raising the 6th. So la, do, yeah, la, do, mi, do, la. In Disney music, they call it the Disney cadence, la, di, right? They make it a major third and they sharp the third. So that's why this sounds so freaking cool. Like he's got this in his ear. Like he's internalized this. So he doesn't have a piano for reference. He has to understand this, and it's called audiation. Audiation is like what you want when you're trying to develop your musicianship. It's the most pragmatic skill. And so he does that, right? and then he sharps something, and then he's out of the key again. So he's borrowed from parallel modes, right? To change the chord. It makes the chord progression way more interesting. It's really cool.
Maybe three, some.
And then I'm pretty sure he's in the key right here for the actual drop. And harmonic progression wise, this is what's called sequential motion. Usually you'll do this with the circle of fifths, like do, like, was it? I'm trying to think of a way to do this. I can't even audiate it, right? And I've been doing this for a long time. So you would get something like, and this is not exactly what he's doing, but do 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 do, right? So you're outlining chords and you have the same pattern, but you're going down with this pattern through these different harmonies. And that's sequential motion. It's just like boop, 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 right? The same patterns over and over again, harmonically. So this is really cool because like he's using the same chord progressions, but now he's not borrowing from the modes, which is what you generally want to do on like a really hard drop or like a chorus. You want people to follow along. So this is like musically like 200 IQ here. It's really, really cool. And then let's get into this drop. I know nothing about beatbox technique. Like I know a little bit, but not a whole lot. So let's just admire the drop. Let's just... And then we're going back to the build up, right? And so this is where you develop, like he'll do the build up and then he'll drop again. So that changes the song structure a little bit, actually, in a more easy to follow direction. So instead of doing A prime, B prime, he's doing, let's represent that with great MS Paint skills. Look at that. I know how to cross things out. These are high production value videos. All right. But what he's doing here is, again, this arrow represents the buildup. And so he then goes to B prime. So these are not uncommon EDM song structures, but it seems like he just kind of knows how to build around things, right? You know, how to build around the song structure. It's really, really, really cool. You can learn a lot just from the musical element of his beatboxing. Again, the link to his stuff is down below. Show him some love. Show him some respect. Right now, AdSense is banned in Russia. Right now, certain Russian media cannot place ads on YouTube. So his CPMs, what he gets from having a high view YouTube video, just tanked, right? So this is a really hard situation for creators, obviously more so in Ukraine, but Russian people are struggling too. So if you have the means, if you like what this is, go to the link down below, give this man some love. Improver from Russia. He's pretty dope.